Okay, give it some time to stream. Yeah.
Oh, it's on already.
Is it on? Wow, you know it faster than me.
No, because
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
checking out
because.
outside.
Oh, okay. Okay, hello parents. Thanks for waiting. I know that this interview with my friend is supposed to start at 10:30, but due to technical glitches, we are unable to connect Facebook Live with Zoom. Okay, so let's not wait any further. Today we have a special guest, and her name is Averil, and she is the Chief Chinese Coach at Coco Chinese. Hello, Averil.
Hi.
Hello, thanks for being
Hi.
here. Okay, so before we start, I think what strikes me most is your agency's name is Coco Chinese. So would you want to tell us how you started off all this and why Coco Chinese? Because it's a very cute name.
So, Coco Chinese, right? I wanted to make it like 豆豆 Huawen. So it's like 豆 is D, right? So how about I make it to C, so it's easier to remember? C.
Oh,
So it's Coco Chinese.
I see, I see.
Yeah. So learn Chinese as easy as like treat it like a very small P that's easy to learn, and start off easy, and you'll find it very interesting and fun.
Yeah. And I believe that you have prepared us some slides. So would you want to start off from there? Because I think that there's so much things to learn from you about helping our children. Because again, I think being a parent myself, my experience is my child doesn't like to speak Chinese. Yeah. So would you be able to use your slides to shed some lights on that?
Sure.
Okay, as Averil is sharing her slides, okay, this is, I have to admit that this is my very first interview with a Chinese teacher, and Averil has been very kind to me because, my Chinese is not very good. So if we start off the interview with Chinese, I think I'll freak out. Yeah, but at times, that it's appropriate to explain using Chinese as well. So I'll try my best to catch up with Averil. Yeah, okay, let's start. Okay, let's go.
So today our topic is on making speaking Chinese fun, right, for our kids.
Yep.
So I would like to share about 3 different areas: materials used, methods, and means. So perhaps let's share about materials used. So be it homeschooling or teaching your children at home, I think being colorful in your materials is very important. I prepare something special. Not sure whether you can see it. So quite small. So do you find this bird and this butterfly quite colorful?
Yep. Wow.
And kids like to touch something that they can feel it. So this is made of felt materials. And they will tend to touch it when it is very colorful, especially when there are differences. They like to find out what's the differences between the 2 different birds. Actually, when I show this to my kids, they are quite clever. They tell me that one of it is owl. I think this is an owl to them. Then this is an unknown bird to them. So it's like quite interesting. They are quite observant about the differences based on the shapes and colors. And besides being colorful, right, if it has a magnet attached to it, it will be quite fun.
Oh,
Kids
okay.
like magnet as well.
So when you say kids, what kind of age group are you talking
I think
about?
from as young as a toddler to 9 years old, they love this kind of colorful stuff. Something that can feel, something that they can touch. Yeah.
Okay.
So something that trigger their 5 senses, they love it a lot.
Sure. Okay, I know that you have spent a lot of effort on the puppets. Yeah. Would you be able to just stop sharing screen for a moment and then you show again? Because when it comes to PowerPoint presentation, we can only see a tiny little parts. Yeah. So can you show it again to parents?
So yeah, so like I mentioned, stuff, materials that is used to interact with kids, good to be colorful.
Wow.
Like for example, this and this, they are both birds. But the kids, right, they can find it very interesting. They find it very interesting, and they can tell me these 2 are different birds. One is an owl to them,
Mm-hmm.
and one is a normal bird. Yeah. So even, and you can show them something that they like Barney. Some girls, they like Barney, but this is a green one, green dinosaur.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, has any child asked you why is this bunny green?
Haven't yet, haven't. They know it's a dinosaur, but some of them, because they love Barney, so they call this a Barney.
Nice.
Yeah. So, yeah. But I'm not really able to provide all materials that they want. Like some, actually,
Sure.
boys, they like Thomas the Train.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But sometimes I'm not able to produce such artwork, right? So they will tend to draw, they will tend to color themselves and tell me this is a train or 火车.
So how did you okay, before you go back to your slide, so how did you use these tools to engage the child? Because I'm trying to learn as well. Yeah.
How do I use this tool to engage the child?
Yes.
So
yes.
I will share more later.
Sure.
I'm sharing about materials used. Good
Great.
to be colorful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
Great.
so I share the screen again.
Yes, please. Because the reason why I ask is because it's very interesting and it's very colorful, so it caught my attention straight away. Yeah, so please go ahead.
So another step to take note that if the kid is as small as a toddler, the bigger the font you should be using. So like for example, when I'm teaching my kids, right, I'll write very big.
Mm-hmm.
I'll write very, very big. The characters should be as big as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So these are some examples
Mm-hmm.
that I'll share again. So if it is the kids are quite small, we can use big font. Whereas kids, when they are very big, we can use small fonts. Like this. You can see the difference. Okay, maybe
Wonderful.
I stop sharing for a while.
Yeah,
So
please go ahead.
For kids that are very, very young, it's advisable that you use big fonts to share Chinese characters with them.
Wow.
Then they will learn better. Or else, when they grow older, the font size can reduce. It can reduce quite small, right?
So when you say older, how old?
I think can be all the way until secondary school level. It can be as small as tiny as a how to say, as a rice.
Yeah.
So it's inverse proportional. The kids, when they are small, they use big fonts. They see big fonts, they like it. And when the kids are bigger, they can use small font. So I think nowadays some of the books, the fonts are very small, and when the kids see, especially the toddler, when they see it, they don't like it at all.
Yeah. And as a parent, though, okay, I think what is one of the challenges is as we get older, our eyesights are failing us, so it can't be too small. So
when the kids are at our age, perhaps they should use a magnifying glass.
Yeah. Okay, so parents yes.
The other extreme, we have to print it to a proper size, like how we see English character.
Yes.
That's the font size that we should be seeing Chinese character as well.
So younger the kid, younger the kid, the bigger the fonts. Okay, great.
Then the third, so every single time I'm sharing, I'll be sharing 3 pointers. Then materials used should be very funny. Strange and funny. So yeah.
Able to give us an example? Because some of us may think that we are funny, but the children may not think so.
Okay, let's see whether I can. Oh, the image didn't come out. Okay, so for example, I don't have it here. Okay. Let me see whether I can close and open, and then does it appear?
Yeah. Because there are times that when I say a funny joke and I thought it's funny, but the children didn't laugh. So it happens a lot.
I think for stuff that should be funny should be pictorial form on the books. I think kids, they don't understand jokes said by adults yet. Like they see pictures, they find very funny. Like, hey, how come the little boy, because I have some books on body parts. So the little boys are not wearing any clothes. So the kids find it so funny because by right we always ask the kids to wear their clothes when they're outside, right? Whereas on the book, the little boy is not wearing anything. So they can laugh at the books, like, this boy is like so funny, not wearing any stuff. So I think I have some funny, strange photos as well, but I think it doesn't appear on the slides. Like, for example, a dog wearing a cow hat. So, as for a cow, right, they have horns at the top. So they find it very funny. Why is this dog wearing a cow hat? So they find it very funny, and they will tend to love the language or love the stuff, and it is strange and funny. Yeah.
Wonderful.
So these are the 3 pointers that I would like to share about materials.
Sure.
For teaching or sharing how to teach your child. So something that must be colorful, something that must be strange and funny, and the font size is advisable. If the kids are young, they should be, the material should be of big fonts, and the kids are older, the fonts can be smaller.
Great.
So yeah.
Do you need help? Do you need help to share the PowerPoint slides? Because I hear that you have some problem sharing it.
Oh yeah, the image doesn't appear.
Oh, okay. Then we go on to the next slide now. The next slide.
So methods. I think drawing the kids, I think nowadays they are much more artistic than we are in the past, than we were in the past. I think most of us, we are so engrossed in a lot of different stuff in the past, but nowadays the kids are when you ask them to do something, they can be quite focused when they wanted to. And drawing is another aspect that the young kids, or I think as young as 9 years old, as old as 9 years, and as young as toddler, they like to draw and color. So we can draw the characters. For young kids, they can draw out the characters. Like the rain, yu, the character itself look like rain. The raindrops are inside the shelter. Or else would be like the umbrella. This is the Chinese character for umbrella. So if you take a look at it, does it look like the real umbrella?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the kids, right, they like to draw. They can draw, for young kids, they can draw the characters out. And whereas for old kids, you can ask them to draw something to tell a story. Like as young as 9 years old, 8 years old, they can draw out some story out. Then they can share the story of what they are drawing. And I think nowadays the kids are very vocal. They dare to speak more than a lot of us. So you can ask them to draw for composition, draw a story.
And I saw one character inside the lightning, Shan Tian, right? And I think I saw some green lines in the midst of the rain.
Correct.
Would you be able to explain that as well? It's interesting.
So Shan Tian, right, is a door, a human in a door. So when I teach them Shan Tian, actually I don't teach them English. I use Chinese to teach them, and they are not Singaporean. They are not Chinese. So they are foreigners. They don't have any Chinese exposure at home at all. So when I teach them Shan Tian, right, I really run through a door, run through or run past a door, run from one direction to another direction. So it's a human running through a door. Then I ask them, why have I disappeared? Then from then onwards, right, they understand, oh, this is Shan. I also show them, because if you have known, there are some songs that have Shan, like the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Also have this Shan character. And you are very observant. You can see that in the clouds, there is some lightning there, which looks familiar, looks like the Chinese character as well. Yeah. So yeah, that's how I teach them 闪电. So no English involved. It's really pure Chinese environment learning. And they really understand the characters based on drawing, drawing is a very effective method in learning Mandarin. Especially Chinese is a pictorial language. Yeah. Well, the other method to learn Chinese, right, is to guess, ask them to guess. Like you can use a lot of things you can ask them to guess. For young kids, right, you can use flashcards to guess. Like you can show them just flashcards with just pictures. Then you can ask them which of the flashcards have gone missing. For older kids, right, you can give them riddles to guess. Riddles to guess the words, or even something to guess. I think the kids nowadays, they like to be challenged. You can ask them to guess, they will love it a lot. Yeah. So yeah, small kids guess the character. Larger kids can ask them to guess riddles, ask them to guess or something that they have learned before, like poems, who has written it, or even ask them how does all this can let them guess about timing, guess anything can be guessed. Okay. Yeah. So the third method is to use a traditional method. So traditional methods will be like just now I mentioned riddles. Teach them riddles, teach them riddles and ask them to guess the riddles. Teach them poems, ask them to guess the poem. These are all the traditional methods like riddles, poems, or even tongue twister. They like to challenge tongue twisters as well. All the traditional Chinese methods of learning is actually quite effective for them to get interest in Chinese language.
This reminded me of like during Lantern Festival, we also have this game which is called Cai Deng Mi. Guess the riddle in the lantern. Yeah. Is it something like that?
Yeah, it's something like that. And
would you be able to give us examples of like tongue twisters or riddles for Chinese? Yes.
Tongue twisters is like very easy. Like 1 is 1, 4 is 4. So 一是一. We should set a larger font.
Okay.
Like 一是一.
一是一，一是一。Okay.
四是四。
Okay.
十是十。十四是。
My God. Okay, please go on. 十是吃屎。
四十是40. Yeah.
Okay, so let me try. 一是一，四是四，十四是十四四十四四十四四十。
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, for our non Mandarin speaking parents, this is like a tongue twister. So 1 is 1, 4 is 4, 10 is 10, 14 is 14, and 40 is 40. Yeah. And I can see that you really go all out to make Chinese interesting for your students, be it young kids or adults learner.
So yeah, because I teach adult as well. So adults, they can learn the same way as how kids learn, but bear in mind the challenge should be higher. Like you teach an adults, right? Some adults they don't write, they don't learn writing. They are very good visual learner. Especially when we are adults, right? Our learning behavior has already been defined since we are a kid or since secondary school. Like out of the different learning methods, like visual learner or audio learner has already been defined since young age. So I think so some adults, they learn languages, they don't learn through writing. You can just show them pictures. They can learn Chinese very well through pictures. Whereas some adults, they are tactile learners, so they learn by writing. So it's good that on when you teach adults, or adults themselves are learning Chinese, it's good that they learn through writing as well. Well, it varies among individuals.
When you teach the adult learners, what are some of the motivations behind learning Chinese? And I believe that many of them are non-Chinese.
So some are parents, they learn for their kids.
Wow.
They learn Mandarin for their kids. I think this is it's a big sacrifice, especially when they have work to do, they have so many things on hand, but they still wanted to learn Mandarin for their kids. And I think that's the biggest push factor. Whereas some, they learn it because of job requirement. And there are a minority that learns it because they love Chinese traditions. Like they love to use chopsticks. Then they find, hey, why I'm learning why I'm using chopsticks, but I have no knowledge about Mandarin. Yeah. So I think the factors in learning Mandarin is because some is for their kids, some is because of job requirement, and other because of interest.
What are some of the different nationalities of your students?
I have some from Philippines. Actually, I have quite a few from Philippines, quite a few from, I think, Europe, and I think Europe and Philippines are some of the popular countries that are learning Mandarin. And US people who are in Singapore, they're also learning Mandarin.
It's amazing. Because my cousin in-law is a Japanese, so he works for a relatively big printer company, and he can speak. Okay, he's a Japanese, so but at the same time, because he frequents between Taiwan and China and Japan, so he can speak Mandarin. And I thought it's really amazing because many of our children don't like Chinese, or they don't like to speak Chinese. Yeah. So it really impresses me when teachers like you are reaching out to non-Chinese who are learning Chinese.
So yeah, I think for young kids, right, like what you say, they don't really like Chinese. So it's really to cultivate their interest and cultivate their interest in learning Chinese, and how to make Chinese much more interesting than the language that they love currently. Yeah.
Wonderful. You have a next slide, which is Mimi. Tell me more about the Mimi.
Okay, this memes is actually not really memes. Like about being some stuff, use something that is creative, something that triggers them to help them to learn. And means also about practicing as well. Practice, like this roller coaster, go round and round practicing or riding people, but they don't get tired of it. So this mean is actually use something that is special to help them to remember some through practicing. Yeah. So these are the 3 stuff that I shared today about materials used. I have quite a few pictures not available. So materials used, methods, and memes. Memes is about practices, about repeating to the kids, and to use something that is special to them.
Wonderful. Yes. So okay. Is it okay? I can share with the parents some slides from your from your website, because I thought what really intrigues me is there are so many non-Chinese students learning. I mean, it reminded me of like when I attended a Japanese language class, and there are so many non-Japanese. Yeah, so let me just share with them your slide, okay? As in your website. Yeah, and probably can tell us some stories behind the picture, like what are some of your interesting experiences, as well as what are some of the takeaways when you help so many non-Chinese learn Chinese?
Interesting experiences that actually I find very interesting is then because we know we know many Chinese characters, right? Whereas those people who don't know Chinese characters, right, when they love Chinese language, right, they actually play with the characters. When I told them that Chinese is simply mix and match, Chinese characters are simply mix and match. So for example, I teach my kids Kong, then they remember that I say before Yo Kong. They remember I say before Tian Kong, the sky. And because they only know a few, right? And they can match the words better than me sometimes because of those few words that they know, and I mentioned to them it's a mix and match, they can mix the words very well. And I think sometimes, okay, another very interesting one, because one of the picture that you show is a director of a company. So when he learned Chinese from me, right, he also tried to help himself to remember. He learned through pictorial way. He doesn't write to remember. So he learned through pictorial way, and sometimes when I tell him very funny stuff, he will, or not even funny stuff, he will try to make it very funny to remember for himself. Yeah, so for example, like extremely happy is 太高兴了，太开心了。Whereas then he will say very funny stuff like offhand I cannot remember.
Yeah.
I cannot remember.
Sure. Yeah, I actually have the same experience. Like sometimes the quality of learning is also highly dependent on the dynamic between the teacher and the child. Oh, sorry, in this case, the students, as well as the earnestness of the students as well. Like he is really there with this mindset that, oh, I'm here to learn as much as possible and I want to get the best out of the program. Yeah. Does this also apply to adult learners as well?
I think the greatest drive for adult learner is what you mentioned just now, their own drive to learn. The dynamics between the teacher and the students is very important as well. Yeah. For kids, right, it's really about the content and how you bring about the content that makes them interesting. Whereas I think for higher level, upper primary, is a mix of the content and the mix of the human interaction. That's what I personally feel.
What about for parents? Because I think there may be some resistance from parents as well, because I feel that in most Singapore families, most are English speaking. Yeah. So what about in most families, and yet the children need to take Chinese as a subject in school? How can parents help them at home?
Sometimes I told them have to speak Chinese to them. Because I think nowadays a lot of parents, they don't speak Chinese to their kids. Having an environment at home is very important. And I think, making Chinese interesting through using videos like cartoons. I think nowadays kids are also watching English cartoons more often than Chinese cartoons. So, and much more interesting is that I think English version of the videos, right? There are much more games in English than in Chinese. So the kids, right, they rather watch, because a lot of games are in English, right? So they rather games of videos on YouTube in English. So they tend to look at the English version than the Chinese version. Nice. So I think having an environment at home, having the kind of interaction in Chinese, watching videos in Chinese, watching shows in Chinese is very important to help the kids, for parents to help the kids in learning Chinese.
What about those parents who don't speak Chinese at all? Yeah, because I have run so many parents workshops for maths, and sometimes when I try to use Chinese to explain for some, then I realize that some parents know they are Chinese, but they will like look at me like, and they will say, I don't speak Chinese at home at all since young.
So I think if parents they cannot provide the speaking environment, right? They either learn a bit of Chinese, learn a bit of Mandarin, or else they can buy materials. Having materials at home in Mandarin is very important, like storybooks, like puzzle. I have a lot of Chinese puzzles. Then the kids will go and piece the puzzles themselves. Or even have like cut out and how to say, in English you have those posters A, B, C in English, right? You can have those kind of posters in Chinese hang around at the home. Having kind of poster at home, right, will help the kids to remember.
Sure.
Even without speaking. And I have very successful Filipino families. I have two of them.
Yes.
Two Filipino families, right? They are very successful in creating Chinese environment at home when they don't speak at all.
Wow.
Because it's like they inform their family members, right, when they are not at home, or even when they're at home, right, they will just tune into Chinese channel. Without knowing what's that, they just tune it in, or even cartoon. They find that, okay, this is a decent cartoon. Then the kids can watch. Or else will be playing Chinese songs, YouTube Chinese songs. Or even they go and buy those kind of DVDs and CDs. Actually quite amazing when the parents have the determination for their kids to do well in another language, right? You will see how amazing they are, the efforts they have put in. Like CDs, you don't even use CD nowadays, right? And they found that there's a lot of cheap CDs in the market. And then they have a CD player, they just buy the CD and play at home. Like every day when I go to their house, not every day, when I go to their house, I can hear Chinese songs outside of their house, But nobody in the house speaks Chinese except the kids.
Nice. So it sounds like even though the parents may not understand Chinese fully, but they know that their children are learning Chinese now, so they try their best to provide the kind of environment.
Provide the environment.
Yeah, and as you're sharing that, it reminded me that the only Chinese cartoon that my children watch is Xiao Ding Dang. Doraemon.
I think Xiao Ding Dang is quite interesting, and I even have their comic books. The kids really like Xiao Ding Dang because they can perform magic. They can change. The Xiao Ding Dang can take stuff out. Doraemon can take anything out from its pocket. Yeah. I think besides Xiao Ding Dang, there are a lot of Chinese cartoon at 2:30 time slot on channel 8 available.
Oh, you mean on 2:30?
2:30 or 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock also have. 2 o'clock also have.
On weekdays?
Weekdays, 2 o'clock.
Really?
Weekdays. Yeah.
I didn't know that. And I didn't know that.
Because last time when we were younger, it's at 9 o'clock, right? In the morning. Now 9 o'clock is a news channel. So they shift it to about 2 o'clock. But I think sometimes it's too early already.
They have Xiao Ding Dang on weekends at 9 o'clock.
Weekends. Yeah. I think weekends channel 8 has a lot of good shows.
Yeah. And in my experience, it works because I also have many non-Chinese friends, and some of them do speak Chinese. Yeah, and it really inspired me. And sometimes it put me to shame as well because my Chinese is also not very good. Yeah, and what the parents did is they love to watch the 9 o'clock channel 8 TV serial. Yeah, so they learn the words as well as from the subtitles. Yeah.
So I think watching shows together is also a good bonding time for the family over weekends as well.
In your experience of having thoughts, because in our community, there are mainly primary 3 to 6 parents. Yeah. So what are some of your experience in helping children to not just be interested in Chinese but also do well? Because in Singapore context, the parents may be looking at more effective ways to do well in both light as well as score. Yeah. So can you help us to break down like primary 3 and 4? What are some of the strategies that parents can use at home? Then maybe primary 5 and 6 if you have any.
So for P3 and P4, right? I think because when they are older, they can help to complete sentences. 完成句子。
Mm-hmm.
So especially completing stories and completing sentences, right, can start off from there as a scratch.
Mm-hmm.
Learn how to complete sentences. Whereas P1, P2 is about matching characters, forming sentences, and then P3, P4 is about completing sentences or even able to do comprehension effectively, able to comprehend, understand, and write the answers for the comprehensions and even composition as well. So how to do well? I think motivating factors, right, is to do very well for the exams, right? Besides practices, right, able to speak the stuff out is very important as well. I think nowadays the kids are able to write but not able to speak it out. So to do well, have to practice speaking whatever they learn in the books. One way is to regurgitate. So it's like after they have read a book, you can ask them to do a book review for you. If I think for my preschool, I've already started like doing book review. But for P3, P4, they can also do the same book review, not regurgitate, but share about what's inside the content. What's their thoughts? What are their thoughts? And how they can put it in their, because they can speak it out, right? So how can they put it in their composition? Yeah. Then for P4, right, I think that recognizing characters, mastering how to answer comprehension and write composition is very important. Mastering of writing composition is also about remembering how to write descriptive phrases of people, and how to make composition interesting. I think nowadays the kids, they seldom plan their composition writing. I think kids nowadays can learn how to plan their composition writing as young as P4. So maybe they can write, how to make it interesting, they can write the ending at the start. Like what happened at the start, and then subsequently share what's happening later, and then the ending happens again. Something that makes the composition interesting. They can learn how to plan composition, plan to write composition to make it a successful composition.
That's really interesting. First time I hear put the ending at the start.
Ending statement, like, what happened? Like there's a car accident. For example, the person cannot move, for example. Then write it at the front. Then continue what's happening that day. To make it interesting. Planning composition.
And the reason why I ask is because I myself also teach my children Chinese at home, or I'm trying to, and it's not easy. Yeah. So when you hear, when you say put the ending at the start, so it actually caught me thinking, how can I do it tonight?
But if they are doing picture composition, cannot lah. But if they are just writing out of not following any pictures, right? Not picture composition, it can be done.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about in your experience of working with upper primary students? Like probably any similarity between the essay writing for P5 and 6?
I think it's a build up of your vocabulary and your content. You can have a vocabulary bank. But I think for English, some kids they have a vocabulary bank. For Chinese as well, you can have a vocabulary bank and make your stories interesting. Yeah. So can have a vocabulary bank, and I think content wise, they catch anything interesting, they can write it down, jot it down in a book, and they can use it for their writing.
Wonderful. Yeah. And I think just now I missed out one question. I have always wanted to ask you, because I believe that most language teachers are very good in their language since young. So what actually made you want to teach Chinese language? and then specialize in it. And I think you even took it one step ahead, which is you are reaching out to non-Chinese in a sense, because most people I know probably they're just teaching Chinese tuition to primary school kids. Yeah. So what's the story behind?
Okay, so when I started teaching Chinese, right, it's actually encouraged
Yes.
by my friends. I have a
Ah,
lot of non-Chinese friends as well. So
okay.
they wanted their kids to learn. So I started off from there. I also have adults. They wanted, because I'm involved in some speaking areas. So they want me to teach them how to speak Chinese. So
Okay.
it really started off from there. But before that, I've been teaching Chinese tuition already, but I've never thought of going full-fledged, diving into Chinese language. It's
Mm.
until like my friend said, hey, can do it, you can do it, you teach my kids very well. So, okay, I think, okay, it's time. So I started teaching full-fledged, full-time, right, in 2017, 2018, that period.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So I
Wonderful.
think one of the best record that I have, right, is like my Filipino kids. They can speak like a normal 6 years old, right? Within 9 months with zero Chinese background.
And how old are these kids?
This year is 6 years old. They
6 years
started
old.
in when he's 5 in
Ah,
about September last year.
wow.
Mm. Or
Yes.
August last year. So he can speak very well like a normal kid, normal 6-year-old kid. Partially, I think includes the collaborative effort by the family. Like
Yes.
just now what I mentioned, the family has no Chinese exposure, but there are a lot of Chinese books at home, a lot of Chinese CDs at home.
Ah,
Yeah, and also the teacher's effort.
wonderful. So it sounds like for a child to be proficient in the language, it doesn't just need the teacher's effort, but it's a collaboration between the family
Environment.
members, the whole environment. Yeah. So in your 3 to 4 years of working with families and parents in helping their children to pick up Chinese, what is one technique that will always work, or parents can actually use it at home?
One technique.
Yeah, like your summary lah.
Uh, the the parents can ask what they learned from school today,
Okay.
and actually the parents can actually write down like a
Mm-hmm.
diary, like what the kids have been learning today, and
Mm-hmm.
then the next day ask them back again, ask the kids back again. Then they themselves know what's happening to the kids or learn a bit of Mandarin, and then the kids will think, hey, my parents are checking on me. I better remember my stuff. Yeah. Yes. So I think parents jotting down what the kids have learned and asking back what they have learned helps them.
Sounds like parents taking interest in what they're learning helps as well.
Yeah.
Okay, we have come to the end of the sharing, and I'm going to ask you a question, yeah, that I've always asked my guest speaker. Okay, so here you goes. Yeah. Okay, so now you are very well versed in your Chinese, as well as you have all the tools and techniques. Yeah, and probably any child who comes to you saying that, hey, I don't know Chinese well, so how can you help me? But the question is, let's say you you walk down the memory lane and you bump into the 12-year-old Avril. 12-year-old Avril. Yeah, so can you see her? Yeah. Yeah. And now with many children, they are so stressed out in their with their PSLE. Yeah. So what will you tell your uh the 12-year-old Avril when you meet her?
What will I tell her?
Yeah. What will you say to her?
Actually, that time, right, when I'm 12 years old, right, my Chinese is very good, but my English cannot make it. I think a lot of friends know that my English cannot make it. Okay, let's say, what would I say to myself if I'm learning English at that time, right?
Yeah. It can be anything. It can be anything.
So it's like need to be prepared and memorize. Memorize for language, right? If you don't use it, another way is to memorize it. You have to memorize it.
When you say memorize, what do you really mean?
Memorize the content, memorize the vocabulary words.
Anything else you talk to the 12-year-old younger self?
I think having need to love the language myself.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else to share before we end off?
No.
Yes,
No.
yes, yeah. And just to share, we do have one comment from Papa Vincent, and he's saying compo and comprehension are the most challenging ones for kids. Yeah, so I think parents, they do feel that the language part is really a test, even for the parents.
Yeah.
Okay, so Avril, thanks for being here, and I know that you are going on to your next tuition, right, or next show.
Yes.
Okay, so don't go off first. I will stop the recording, and then I'll start the Facebook Live, and then don't go off first, yeah. So parents, we'll see you around, and thanks for being here. Take care.